On today's video, guys, we're going to be going over what I all did to the $50 Jag to get it running, and hopefully I'll get a good startup for you guys, and maybe I'll get some shots of it riding, but at least I'll get a startup in this video. But most of you guys have not seen this snowmobile yet. You guys have seen the 79 Jag that I had for 40 bucks a while back. This is actually a different one. This is a 1986 Jag 340 with the same exact motor as the 79, but just a lot newer. And I paid $50 for this one. Drove about a little under an hour to get it, and it was seized up. Engine was tight, guys. I'll bring you in a little closer here. Maybe I'll pull the hood up and I'll kind of talk a little bit better. I'll get you guys down there. There we go. But basically, put the hood open here. Same motor as the 79, and it was seized up. The guy I bought it from said it was seized. He didn't lie to me. And it had a lot of ice in the engine, guys. I'm talking a bunch of ice. We pounded on that clutch. We didn't want to put too much of a shock, but we pounded with a lead hammer and a piece of wood and a big hammer against it. You know, so it had something soft against the clutch, so we didn't want to snap the crankshaft off, obviously. And then we put pressure on the recoil rope on the other side and got to turn over. And got some of the ice, so you could see ice inside of it. And then we put a bunch of heat down the spark plug holes, which is basically like propylene, which tries to melt the ice, and that actually helped a lot. So if you guys have any of these snowmobiles that have been sitting for a long time, it's probably not a good idea to run them. You know, obviously the crank bearings might have damage from the ice and the water, but for us at Mickey Mouse Operations, it's just a daily routine, you know, just get beater sleds and fix them up. So what we did is just put some heat down the spark plug holes and melted the ice, and she's been turning over good, and I've actually rode it quite a bit. I'd say probably a good half hour total, and hasn't skipped a beat yet. Haven't heard any rod knock or nothing like that, so I'm thinking all the ice came out, and a lot of water shot out of the exhaust when we first started it. But the first big thing was getting it unstuck, and then we had no spark, so that was a tough diagnosis, guys. And luckily somebody saved me on Facebook and helped me through the diagnostic procedures, because I wasn't doing it quite right. But I almost sold it as a no spark, just turning over snowmobile. I put it up on Facebook Marketplace here in Wisconsin, and just as I thought I was going to sell it, somebody messaged me and told me to try this. I'll show you guys in a second, I'll explain. But he told me to try this and see if I had spark. So I'm going to get you guys in here a little closer. Got some uneven snow. But basically down here, there's a plug, and it's a 4-way connector. It has some yellows, a brown, and a black wire going to it. And he said, try to unplug that and jump the black to the brown and see if you have spark. And wouldn't you know it, I had spark. So I'm like, okay. I still had a problem in my kill switches. Basically what that is bypassing all the kill switches. And what I did before is I had the factory toggle switch, or not the toggle switch, the factory key switch. I tried doing a continuity check in both directions, run and off, and I didn't get any continuity. So I kind of had a red flag already when I was first diagnosing this as a no spark. So what I did was I basically just bypassed the emergency stop switch up there, and now I put my own toggle switch in down here, and that's just an on-off. So it just has spark one way and doesn't have spark the other way. It just kind of opens the circuit up or makes the current go to ground, one of the two, I think. But that guy on Facebook definitely saved me on that. I would be so upset if I sold it without spark, and here it is running. So very, very thankful for that guy. And then the carb, guys, if you guys didn't see the thumbnail picture, the carburetor was full of ice and varnish, and so was the fuel tank. It was just full of, probably had like 3 gallons of just slime. It was basically like green, sticky sap gasoline. Probably hadn't ran in 5+ years, I would assume, from the way the gas looked and just all the ice and stuff inside the engine. This thing definitely sat a few winters uncovered in a snowbank or something. But it had I did put an oil line for the oil injection. I put a new line on because I accidentally filled up the tank, and then I wondered why I had a bunch of oil in my belly pan, and then all of a sudden I realized there was no line. It was broke off, so that was good. The oil pump mechanism on the rod where the throttle cable splits goes down in there, it was kind of seized and it wasn't working right, but I got that kind of fixed up, and I'll see if I can get you guys in here a little closer. But everything works good, you guys can see. Hopefully I'll get you down in there. Let me get you around this way. I'm holding a tripod, so try to get you guys down in there. You guys will see, hopefully. It is working pretty good. So, and I marked the oil tank. I marked it with a Sharpie to make sure it was going down, and it was going down. It was using oil, which is good, and I refilled it up a little bit. So I did pre-mix like 100 to 1, a couple gallons of fuel, just to be safe when I first started it, because I didn't want to trust that oil injection pump, and I thought I had most of the air out of the line, so I took a gamble, and it seems to be working out. Other than that, I put some fuel line, little chunks of fuel line in, spliced in where it looked bad, and I spent probably like 5-6 hours on the thing, just trying to swap different components from the 79 onto it and seeing if it was a coil, and trying to go through all these different things, and it was just a kill switch the whole time. So I guess on these Arctic Cats, guys, I'm not sure if just the Jags or the other models where they have the 4-way connector. If you guys don't have Spark, you can just jump that brown to the black and see if that helps, because then it just basically narrows it down that it's your kill switches and not like an expensive component like the CDI box or the stator. Coils, I mean, those aren't that expensive, but still pretty easy fix for me. I do have one headlight beam, so that's good. The seat is junk, basically. I'll show you guys. It's definitely trashed, and I cut the strap for it anyways, so it's just kind of floating on there in floater mode, so that's good. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put the camera right here, and I'm going to try to start this thing up for you guys, and we'll see if it will run. I'm stepping on stuff. So we'll see what happens. I'll choke it. Guys. Is $50 Jag just turned into like a $250 Jag. Idle's pretty good too. Pretty sure I just got some belt rubbage. You guys can kind of hear that. Pretty sure it's just a belt. Other than that, it seems pretty good. A little boggy. I could probably adjust the pilot air screw a little bit to fine tune that, but other than that, it's pretty good. And I can just shut it off with my kill switch. So there you guys have it. Works pretty good. It started kind of hard there. I'm not sure if it's just the carburetor or something. Maybe that pilot air screw needs to be turned in a little bit, give it more fuel. It's only got a 25 pilot jet in there, so that's pretty small. And especially without an air box, you know, it's getting a lot more air. So maybe I'll just turn that screw in, maybe a half turn out or something like that, just to give it some more fuel in the bottom end. That also might take away that little bit of a bog. You guys can hear when I kind of blip it. It's got a little bit of a bog, so that might take that away. But I'm out of breath, guys, from yanking that thing so freaking hard. Other than that, I don't know too much else on this snowmobile. Other than that, I'm so glad I didn't sell it, and it's a good runner. It definitely has a lot more power than the 79. Like, I took it in the field, opened it up, and it just, wow, it just goes. Can't believe the power difference between the butterfly carb and the round slide. This one has a nice round slide on it. The motor looks identical, same Spirit motor. I don't think they changed anything on it. Just the round slide carb is just so much better for throttle response and power overall. Other than that, yeah, that's basically everything I did to it. If you guys want to see some riding footage of this versus the 79 Jag or any other vintage sleds we have, we're going to try to keep buying and selling them and see if we can make some money. If you guys haven't seen the Mojave 110 project, make sure you guys go check that out. much appreciated if you guys go do that. I just ordered some parts for it, and next video hopefully will be on that, trying to get the top end apart and inspecting it for you guys. But I wanted to get this video out there because I haven't shown this snowmobile really. Maybe you guys have seen it in the background maybe, but I didn't really do anything on it. So that's basically it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next video.